Hey, welcome back to another episode of What in the World Is He Doing? Guys and gals, we got to get this car on the road. You agree? I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah, thought so. Is Michael sleeping back there? Hold on. Somebody wake him up. Wake, Michael, wake up. We're going to work on the car. All right, thanks. All right. We've got to rebuild the wheel cylinders on this car. Yep. Slap them back in and see if we can get some brakes on this thing so that when we do put her on the road, we can stop it when we want to, instead of when we run into something. All right. Let's just dig right into it and see how this goes. Let's do it. All right. Let's see if we can start with the hard part and get the wheel cylinders off of the front. There's that. What's got to happen here? It's been a while since I changed brake shoes. Don't laugh at me. Stop laughing. Well, pretty confident I should take that spring off first, but I don't know if I can get it. Okay, probably should have taken a picture of that, but I didn't. Well, that was fairly easy, I guess. Let's see, this is in a line, so see if we can get that one off of there first and go from there. Hopefully this isn't too bad. Hopefully, he said. That's, what size was that? Oh yeah, that was easy. Okay. Probably spoke too soon, but we'll find out. We will find out. Could have at least sprayed some WD-40 or something on them, but way too impatient for that. How does that? There's a bolt there and a bolt there. Well, same size. That makes sense. Also, all right. One down. 5 to go. Yep, 5 to go. Okay. Now we'll just turn it the other way and hit the other one. What size is that? An odd size all of a sudden? Why? Ridiculous. Okay. It's not 5/8, is it? It is, it seems like. Yep. Let me pop the hood, see if I can get the other side of this disconnected. We got to get this disconnected from that hose, and then disconnect the hose from the fender and all that good stuff. At least these things are coming apart pretty easy. That's awesome. Just like that. Right there. Loose. Okay. Now we gotta take this nut off the inside. And then that should drop right out. Oh boy. I can't reach both sides. Can I? Barely. That's a stretch. Alright. No brake fluid coming out. Now we can pull this apart. Pull this off. Now we can get to this other little jumper line. So, brake hose comes in from where we just saw to here. Now we're dripping brake fluid. Comes into this first wheel cylinder. Then there's a line that comes out of the back of that and jumps right behind this plate over to the other wheel cylinder over here that we took out first. So now I just got to disconnect this one, and then might as well loosen this up. Sure wish one of you guys would invent a ratcheting wrench that goes over a brake line. That'd be cool, because there's not a good way to do this. Why do these things have so many threads? Seriously. Is it necessary? My arm hurts. Tire was rubbing the inside of the fender here a little bit. Oh, that actually got folded in. Unless that's supposed to be like that. It looks pretty clean. But the tires that were on here were bigger than factory. So they did rub just a little. Wow. Is this the same deal as... I don't get it. Wow. So there's just this little line, little jumper from there to there, back there to tie the two together. All right. Hit the other side. Fronts are demoed out. So I guess we can move right on to the back. Get those yanked out. And then parts should be here soon. And we'll be good to go. Can we get the backs done yet today? So this only has one spring between the two. Well, what in the... Oh, is that lock in there? Man, I can't even see anything without a light. Oh, there is another spring there. I know there's an easier way to do this. I don't want to loosen that up because it's already set. What's that from? Oh, that's the bottom one that came out. This is going to be fun to get back in. There's a cotter pin on that. Does it? Yeah, that keeps that on. This is what happens when I try to go fast. Every time. Okay. Like that. So that goes on the top. So this was like this. I'm doing this for myself. And this was like this. Okay. Let's do this and take a picture. The other side. Remind me to take a picture before I completely take it apart. Thanks. Oh, that's on there because that's for the e-brake. Copy that. Oh, there's some kind of clip that holds that in. That's quite the contraption. These pieces go around it, and that one locks into that one to hold that wheel cylinder in place. Two little nubs right here. And this slides on and just locks in like that. And that's it. That's all that's holding that thing in. Can you guys even see anything or hear anything? Am I just doing nothing here? Leaving you all behind? Because you sure aren't saying much. It's pretty quiet, other than me talking. There it is. Okay. I guess so. All right. One left. One left to go. Never figure out how that goes back together. That's fine. If we have brakes, do we need a parking brake? Just put it in gear, right? Yep. Okay. Oh, we do have the same thing over here because the parking brake sets both wheels. That makes sense. Yep. Should have thought of that. Did order some cotter pins and got them in, so that's cool. So here's where your parking brake lever activates. Bleeder valve goes here, brake line here, rubber boot right here that goes, slips over this thing, and underneath there is that clip. So, and these boots are all brittle and toasted. So, like, there's no way to take it off without ruining it. And so, that sucks. But, that's what we got. Okay. Now, can we get this one off like we did the other one? Pop that free. And then that slides right off. Like that. And then this one slides off the other way, if you can get it. If you're clever enough. Something like that. And how did I do that? With that lever there on the other side. No idea. Oops. My bad. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, stop it. Ouch. Oh. There it is. Well, come on. There it is. Last one. Kaboom. Now the hard part. Now we get to start tearing those apart. Let's just dig right in, I guess. All right, guys. These have been soaking in here for about a day. And so let's get them cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll pull them apart and see what we got and see if we have the stuff to rebuild them. All right, here we go again. No idea how to do this, what's going on here. Haven't even looked at the service manual. Don't have time for that. So I think maybe let's start with the back one. I got these semi-clean so we can work on them in a decent fashion, and then get them apart and clean them up more better, and then put them back together with new parts. So it looks to me like the boot, the rubber boot, is held on by this clip. It appears. That comes off, and that holds that on. All right. Simple enough there. What is this contraption on the back? What is going on? I sure hope that doesn't have to come apart. How do you, you know what I didn't get? It's the bleeders. How do we use the air compressor? Should you be able to push these in? Because that ain't budging. Should I be able to push that in? I'm going to hurt myself. Well, let's experiment. You guys down with that? Yeah, I thought so. I knew you would be. Shouldn't even asked. Okay. I think maybe if we put the bleeder valve there, I mean, I don't see anything holding that piston plunger in. And if it's anything like the master cylinder, I just don't know what this does. That makes no sense to me. Is that? I don't know. Don't know. Might have to look it up. I'm going to grab the bleeder, stick it in there, and then see if we can blow that piston out of there, I guess. All right. That's what's coming out of there. I kind of believe that that's part of our seal in there, or part of our O-ring. So if we screw a bleeder valve in here, that's the right one. You got to make sure you got the right one. Now, what happens? What's going to happen? If you guys know, don't tell me. Huh. That was easy. That was pretty easy. There it is. Pop that little dude right out of there. And that's it. That's it. There's a plunger, piston, whatever you want to call it, and a seal that is roasted. And most of it is liquid form now. Yep. That is, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be either. So we'll fix it. You know what? I'll be right back. So this right here is what is supposed to be on there. That's what that's supposed to look like. I'm impressed. I'm not even mad. That is impressive. Wow. All right. I think we found the problem. I'll bet you that's the problem. So, man, that thing's just mush. Look at that. It's mush. Wow. That's crazy. What causes that? Is that from just sitting? Is that the wrong type of fluid? What causes that? I found these fancy gloves on Amazon, and I really like them so far. I think I put them on inside out. Just kidding. They're totally reversible. But the other gloves I was using in the cleaning solution in my parts washer would have a reaction or something, and they would swell up big time. And these have not really so far. If they are, it's a little bit, and they seem pretty tough, and they're grippy, and they're green. Yep, I know. There it is. Yeah, buddy. Oh, see, that seal looks better. That's how it should look. Yeah, it's dirty in there, though. But look at that. Remember how that last one looked? That one's decent. These are the backs. That's the one that blew out then. That's the one that was blowing. That explains it. That's exactly what happened. All right, I'm going to drop this in. Let those soak. And we'll work on the fronts. Just making a big old mess. Spotless work table. I like these gloves. Did I mention that? Okay. Time to get serious. This one, so we've got a front. Oh yeah, these are both identical. But are they? Because one gets bleeder and one does not. This one's got a whole bunch of gunk in there. Yeah, see, I think... Oh boy. Oh boy. Hope we can figure out which one. Oh no, they're the same. Disregard. Yeah, same. Samesies. Okay, so for these, same thing, I guess. Which one gets the bleeder? Does it matter? That looks all gummed up in there. Wonder how much air is even getting through. These front brakes, I couldn't get them to operate at all once I started really checking them out. The backs were pumping, but these, I couldn't see any movement. And I didn't check until after that one blew. But almost lost that one. Okay. There's that. There's a spring. That's it. But that's what that looks like. This one looks pretty decent too. That's just that one so far was just completely gone. Well, come on. Come on. Be serious. That one looks the best yet. All right. That. Okay. Next one. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's what it looks like inside there, guys. Yep. Boom. Last one. Sweet. Okay. I'll drop that in. Pull the other one out. And get her all cleaned up. And I'll meet you right back over here. Okay, it is time to get these back together. One thing I noticed is that these rear wheel cylinders are aluminum and the fronts are steel. That's interesting. I wonder why. If you know, let me know in the comments. These turned out pretty decent for as bad as they were. We'll see how they do. Okay, so this should go on here. Just like that. That should slip right in there. Nope, that's backwards. That is absolutely backwards. Okay, try that again. Should go just like that. Yep. It's more like it. Then this should go on here. And this is a weird design here, seems like to me. Just like that. And then this should slip right over. Like that. And that holds that on there. We got our bleeder. Make sure these go in the right ones because these two are not the same. And you'll see. And then I guess this is the cap for this. Yep. One down. 5 to go. The fronts really, I mean, if I had known, I would have bought new ones instead of rebuilding them. But at this point, just going to use what I got. Hope for the best. I think we'll be fine, but said that before. Camera stopped on me, but anyway, these cleaned them up as good as I can, and we're gonna go with it. See what happens. There we go. All right, let's get these things back in the car. Oh, hold on. Nope, not yet. I got to purge those brake lines. Gonna do that first. All right. Sounds like a blast. Can't wait. All right, I've got a contraption going on here. What I'm going to try to do is I took the lid off of the master cylinder, and I'm going to attempt to use this to pull all the old brake fluid out of the lines. So, see what happens. What I've done is purged all the lines, and I'll show you that in a minute. Right now, just putting in these front brake hoses through the fender here. Those tightened down, and when I went through, I used my brake bleeder and I put it on one line, and I put these bleeder caps on all the other lines, and so that it was only pulling through the one line. Seemed to work pretty well, and so I think I got everything out of the lines. Everything seems clear and good to go. So wrap this up, then just stuff this through here for now. And when we get here, it'll be ready for the wheel cylinder. I also installed a new brake line right there. Comes from the master cylinder down to the brake line at the axle to the T. Not going to make you guys watch me go all the way back through installing all these, but one thing I wanted to point out is these back ones. See how that end is, and see how you got these notches right here? That's for the e-brake piece. Those little knobs on each side of it. All right, gentlemen and ladies. I got all the wheel cylinders back in, hooked up, bolted down, ready to go. All the new brake lines in, and lines purged completely before that. So let's see if I can figure out how in the world these go back on. Yep. So we know for sure that ain't right. Nope. It's gonna be that one. Yeah, I think so. Okay. I'm gonna have this is, oh boy, this is gonna be a blast. Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nope. Don't laugh, guys. Do not laugh. It's rude. Very rude. Okay. Okay. All right. Very cool. Now, if I get that on there, this has just gotta come back and slide in there. And we're in. Oh man, that spring is strong, dudes. Well, forevermore. Alright guys, got one set in. Figured out a couple little tricks. I don't know if they're the best, but figured something out. And I'll try to show you on the next front wheel. So anyway, those are in. I put the drum on, adjusted them, and pulled it back off just to show you, but there it is. Let's see if I can redo or replicate, or yeah, that's about halfway-ish. Okay, is it recording? Yep. Can you see? I don't know. All right. So, just get these out of the way. Just get these little pins out of the way right now. All right, what did I do? So, these little things right here are your adjusters for the fronts. And this little pin sits on there. And then that thing, you can turn it from the back. And I got this little tiny wrench, 1/4 inch. And then you can adjust these out if they're slightly worn or whatever. All right, let's see. I guess we'll try the top first. So this part goes on your wheel cylinder. So you got to get your spring in there, which is not easy to do by any means. Okay. Then Want to set that end down on the wheel cylinder, and watch out because that thing's going to want to slide and maybe screw up this boot. Get your screwdriver up in here and see, how did I do that? Locked it into something back there. See, it's already trying to, and then wedge it in here and then pop that right in. And then it slipped on me a little bit. So right now that adjuster is holding it up. It's not even touching the wheel cylinder, but that's where it was, the same brake pads. So I'm going to leave that for now. We put the drum on and see how it feels. Okay, see if we can do that one more time. Nope, that's wrong. This is right. I cannot believe this can't be easier. Why not easier? If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Well, I suppose so. Okay. Get that onto your wheel cylinder. Get this. See how that wants to pull that boot? So you got to be careful. Why is this one more difficult? I don't get it. Well, it could be easier than this. It definitely could be. So close. Do not want to screw that up. How is that one so easy? What's going on here? Did I put the wrong one? Are these different? Are these different, dudes? No way. Nope. Same. This is how the service manual says to do it. To pop this side in first. I mean, out first when you replace them. Take this end out. And then put this in first. And somehow pry this into here. I'm sure there's probably a trick that I am just completely, totally missing. I guess I can adjust this thing all the way down. I don't see how that's going to help, but wow. That's insane, dudes. I don't ever want to do that again. Unless I have to. Where we put our little pins. One. Two. Now we got this washer that goes on, spring that goes on, another washer. Sweet. Okay, those are usually a pain, but man, those seem easy compared to the rest. I think I've decided that brakes are my least favorite. Yep, officially. I know you guys were wanting to know. So there you go. That's it. All right. I'm going to move on to the back. Okay, so if I were to jam this in here, well, that one wasn't bad at all. Okay. But why is... oh, that's there. Okay. And so this... now this one... nice. Right on. That was quite a bit easier, I'd say. One more to go. I'm going to knock that one out and then fill her with some fluid. See if we can bleed these things again and get the fronts to work along with the backs. Before we drive this thing, oh, by the way, I've got all the brakes put back together. I was working late last night. Didn't want to stop till I was done. And I got it done. Brakes are adjusted. Everything is, it's got really great brakes now. Like new. But we're going to try to drive this thing before we do that. Now that we've ran it multiple times and everything, and kind of ran the coolant through the engine and radiator, I'm going to drain this radiator again, flush it out again, and refill it and get some cleaner coolant in there. So, and I'm going to do that in case there's any big gunk in there. I'm going to try to disconnect the hose down here and go that route. Well, you know what? No. I'm going to open the drain plug on here and do it that way, and then disconnect the hose and flush it out. I think while that's draining, we might as well throw the wheels back on. Brand new tires. I went with they're called Sure Track. At the local tire store I usually use, everything they had for 13-inch was on back order. And so I went on eBay and bought these Sure Track factory size 155/80 by 13, and then had the tire store put them on. I really wanted to go with a thicker white wall, but I mean, really, the only two options, there are not a lot of options for 13-inch wheels. The options were Coker, which would cost more to put tires on this car than it does my lifted truck with 35s, or what are the, I forget what they're called, the pieces that you pinch between the wheel and the tire, and you have the wider white wall. I forget right now what they're called, but those were the options. I'll snug these up a little more once we get it on the ground. Well, I really wanted to put a water temp gauge on this thing because I'll be honest, I'm a little worried about that water pump. But I went to snag one from another vehicle and it broke on me. So no water temp gauge. Get some more coolant in here. I already put some little bit of antifreeze in. Top it off with some water, run it, see if it flows, which it has been, should be fine. But the way that water pump looked was packed full of that junk. And just the fact that it's been sitting, I'm just not real sure about it. So, but, you know, it didn't come with a water temp gauge, although everything in it was working properly back when it was bought new. All right, let's see how a cold start goes on this thing. You know what? Maybe she just change the spark plugs while it's still cool. Yeah, let's do that. These don't look that bad, but I'm going to change them anyway. Maybe keep these as spares. Clean them up. Paperwork I got with these plugs from Metropolitan Pit Stop says to gap them at what was it? 0.023 to 0.025. All right, let's see how she runs now. It's back on the ground. Well, pulled some water in. Open up. There it goes. All right, guys. Here we go. Man, I'm a little giddy right now. First attempt to see if this thing will drive under its own power. See what happens. Now I don't want to run. All of a sudden. Alright. Here goes nothing. Hold on. That rattling is the passenger door. Might need some new seals. Well, there it is. It drives that far. I got to get some vehicles shifted around, make some room, and we'll take this thing out on the road. See if we survive. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, here it comes in all its dusty glory for the first time back out in the sun. Well, minus the backyard, but back out here a little closer to the street. Yep. It's a runner. All right, here we go. up to 50. We're up to 50 miles an hour. Better shut her down. Now this thing's driving really good. Driving straight. Brakes are solid. Really cool. Man, this is awesome. Leaking some coolant again, looks like. Unless that was from last time. But, oh, I got the blinker on. She's a runner. I think I need to order a new water pump though. I don't trust that old one. Good deal, guys. Yep. Pretty happy right now. All that work for a cool ride. Now we just got to get her cleaned up. Love the horn. It's hilarious. Such a big horn on a little car. Well, guys, I am pretty happy right now. It drives pretty decent. It has no power, zero. Like people have said, people do a lot of engine swaps in these because of that. But good brakes. Clutch might need a little bit of adjustment. But when first time I drove it down the road, I thought that I got a little ways down the road and I turned around. I didn't want to go too far. And then there was some fluid on the road where I turned around. And I thought, oh boy. Got back home and there was nothing. So I think what happened is it warmed up and perhaps the radiator is too full and it let a little excess out. And it was fine, but check this out. Let's see, what's the best way to show you? There is not a single drop of anything under this car. I've had it parked here for maybe 5 minutes now after I drove it again, and there is just nothing. And I don't think that'll stay that way, but that's encouraging right now. But there it is, man. A lot of work since, what was it? September, October-ish, something like that. And it's back on the road. Pretty awesome. Love it. Well, folks, we did it. We took this car, we drug it out of the back corner of a barn where it had been sitting for who knows how long, but it was last tagged in '76. And we drug it out of there. We did some work on it. Nothing super major, like we didn't pull the engine or anything like that, but we put this thing back on the road. Back on the road after sitting for nearly half a century, 47, 48 years. Pretty awesome. This is my happy face right here. Something I did that is not on video. The following day after we did some driving, the first first little drives. I was worried about that water pump and seeing coolant on the ground, and my mind was telling me that the thing is overheating and everything. So the next day I got a water temp gauge that would fit, cheap one, tossed it in, and I drove this thing up and down the road around the block. I let it idle for like 20 minutes, and it absolutely would not overheat. Come up to 180 and just stayed right there no matter what I did. So that's awesome. So maybe that water pump is fine for now. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. I'll probably still order one just to have it on hand in case this one goes, but we're not going to do any major trips in this thing anytime soon. Just keep it close to the house until, you know, we shake it down a little bit more. But yeah, yep, back on the road. Man, this is awesome. This is the 10th video I've done on this car since we pulled it out of the barn, since we bought it. And if you want to see all the work we did to it, feel free to go back, watch the other videos, and yeah, pretty cool. Feel pretty accomplished right now. So next, we got to dig into the paint and see what we can bring back out of this. I think it's going to turn out okay. Got some pretty decent scratches and stuff. It's got several dents, different areas, but I think overall it's going to come back pretty good. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you coming along for the ride. If you want to subscribe and help me out, that'd be awesome. That would really help me out a lot. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.